As creators and quilters, we love to make things, and it is such fun to use our hands and create beautiful items for ourselves, for our family, for gifts, for any multitude of reasons. And I have something special I'm going to show you today. I'm Lea Louise from Inspired Quilting by Lea Louise, and look at what I made. Oh my gosh, is this not wonderful? I have never done anything like this before. This is a leather sewing kit. It's from Babylon Leather, and they have an extensive line of leather kits that you can make your own bags, from a little saddle bag. This is the colorful saddle bag right here, and I loved it because it's red and green for the holiday colors. But there are also wonderful tote bags and small little wallets and things that you can do. It's great fun. I want to share it with you. This isn't a sponsored video. They didn't pay me to do this. They said, here's a free kit. Will you give it a try and share it with your subscribers? And I said, of course, this will be such fun. So let me show you how this works, how it goes together, just a couple things. There's an affiliate link below because they have discounts for Lea Louise subscribers, and I want to share that with you. Now, I do get a commission, but like I said, I'm not getting paid to do this. I just wanted to share a really fun project with you. Everything you need is in the kit. It's good quality. It's easy to do. It takes some time because it's hand stitching, but what a beautiful project to have in the end. I've done lots of hand sewing over the years, but I've never done anything like this, certainly not leather. And I really love how this turned out. It went together easily, and it's all hand-stitched leather. You don't need a machine. You can just do it all by hand. It's a kit. Everything you need is included, including the thread. And look at how much thread I had left over. So it's not like it's skimpy and you might just get by. It's everything that you need. The leather is beautiful. Everything is pre-drilled and it lines up great. I followed the step-by-step tutorial to make this. What I appreciate about this is what a great gift idea it can be. Now, yes, it's fun to do yourself. They have some great tote bags that I was really interested in to try as well. But there's also just a lot of fun small bags. If you have young people in your family who like doing crafty things and making projects. I know as a kid I did, to keep busy hands busy, and it's been a lot of fun. And these can be ordered online. They ship everywhere. Didn't have to pay for any shipping. It's fantastic. Let's start by looking at what's inside. And the first, of course, is the brochure. And what's nice is there's a QR code. And you can follow this QR code to get a video tutorial specific for whatever bag you're making. And I love that because it's very easy to watch and maneuver what you're doing when you can see someone else doing the exact same thing. And all their social media. So there's some good information here. And so actually this is sort of a twofer. I wanted to try something small, and I got this adorable little snowflake coin purse. And so it looks like everything I need is here. And this is sort of my star that the white snowflake goes on top. And this all gets attached into a wonderful little coin purse. So I can't wait to see that. Oh, all kinds of fun stuff here. So we're going to take a look at that. I'm going to keep all the pieces and parts together right now until I have the opportunity to see what everything is and what exactly we're going to be doing. Now, this is just a sweet little addition. A couple of ornaments, leather ornaments that were been sewn by machine. But, oh, that's fun. The grandkids will love putting that on the tree. But now we're getting into the kit that I've ordered, and I'm making the small saddle bag kit. And you can see everything we need is here, and that's the beauty of the Babylon Leather kits. They're completely inclusive of all the tools and supplies to make their bags. We have our thread that we're going to use, and we have clippers. Oh, we have some little clips in here as well, like a little rivet almost. Have an awl and a screwdriver. So there's lots of little bits coming together. And then this is the hardware because there are some buckles and different things like that. And then some finger protectors. Now, here are all the pieces. And I did get the one for the Christmas colors. I thought that would be great fun. And let's see, everything is packaged really well. So you know exactly what you have. It's marked so we know what's inside. And everything is taped. I'm going to put the tools over here. And here we are. So we have our front pouch cover and our little bit here that's going to go in between. We have another piece that we're going to attach, and our little straps and joining strips. I've already seen the video once, so I have an idea of what a lot of these pieces are. So these are the things that will hold this together. This is the very front, and then there's a little lock that goes on the front, which is what's part of the hardware package. And let's see. I just thought this was pretty because it's red. It has the green accessories, the attachment pieces, and then the white front. So it's really a fun holiday look. All right, here we are. Look at this. So we have 1, 2, and 3. So these are going to kind of stage themselves. And then this is the piece that will come over the top. Wow, so this is going to be really fun. I've never done anything like this before, and I'm excited to give it a try. It looks like it's going to be easy enough to do, and there's incredible directions available. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I'm going to do my first stitching, and what we do is we measure 3 or 4 times the width that we are going to stitch. And I'm going to go with the 4 and just see how that works for me. And snip that off. Now this is a double thread or a double needle stitch that you use on the leather, which is quite interesting. And I like the fact that they provide nice big needles with nice large eyes. But here's the trick that I thought was pretty neat. So you want to pull this out, and the waxed thread is a bit on the flat side, so you can take your needle and pierce it and run it right through like this. Whoops, I need to get it into the middle. There we are. And then what happens is when you pull this, your thread is secure, and that thread's not going to come out as you're sewing. So that's really handy. This is all laser cut. Now the reason we have an awl in the kit is sometimes the laser will cut through but not completely push out or burn out the hole completely. And so we just use our awl and we come in. There's a hole right there. We just go straight through and go in and back out, and then it'll be easy to stitch with the needle. So that is a pretty quick, easy process. There were only a couple spots that were a problem. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And essentially what you do is, it's like I said, it's a double needle. And so you want to put your needles together like this. Whoops, I have to remember where my hands go. And so the thread is even, and the center goes right here in this first hole. And then I'm going to take this and put that way, and this one comes through this way. Now I'm just doing this to demonstrate because they did it in the video and it looked pretty cool. It made sense to me. So while you have your thread looped through the first hole, you're going to take one needle. Let's take this one and pull it through. And then you're going to take the second needle and pull it through. So you always get a front and a back stitch as you go along. And you want to pull them in snug each stitch. So you've got a good tight thread in there that's going to hold up well and not get loose. Okay, and that's what we need to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and work from this point and come back. Now, one thing that I saw too in the video is when you pull your back thread through, bring it in the direction away from where you're sewing, and then that way, as you push your needle through, it's not going to get caught against that thread. And so now we're going to pull that. So see, we have our second stitch in there. And I want to pull my first thread through, my front thread through first, simply because that'll look better. If there's any twisting or anything, that could occur more likely on the back once that first thread goes through. And, you know, if you've ever done needlework, you always want to make sure that your thread lays flat, that it's not twisted or knotted, and then you get a nice smooth stitch like this. Not only did I get this one finished all the way across, but I also did this one and this one. And once you get started, that stitch is very easy to do. It's not difficult, and you get really quick after a few minutes, a few stitches, and your hands know just what to do, and it works well. So I was really pleased with how easily that was to go. Now, this is the hardware. This is a lock that goes on the front of the purse, and all I did was put these 4 screws in the back. It had the little brace pieces with this leather disc that's punched to be sewn all the way around. So what I'm going to do is put this here, and using that same stitch, using the double needle back and forth, I'm going to attach this. So I'm going to go in the center here and go into the center here. And then once they're lined up, I should be pretty good to go. Now, in the instructions, it does say if you have any trouble lining things up going between layers, then go through one layer and then the second. So I'll go through here, I'll go through the first hole, and then make sure I go through the next hole on the underside as well. Just like that. Keep this lined up. Because once the first couple stitches are in, then this is going to be sort of locked in place. Nothing's going to be going anywhere, so that works out really well. This one just comes through here, and with that thread already through, then this needle is going to come up right where it needs to be. Just make sure, just like that. All right, and I'll give that a good little tug. And every stitch becomes just a little easier. I can see right through. Everything is lining up. Oops. The one thing you do need to be careful of too is that you don't split your thread. So when you're coming back up, you want to make sure you're going through the hole without piercing the previous thread, because that's going to weaken the thread, and we don't want to have that happen. But there's enough room, the way this goes together, that doesn't become a problem. So what I appreciate about this is how well everything is lined up. The cut holes that are used for sewing are lining up exactly where they need to be. And that makes it a lot easier, obviously. And I have my little locking mechanism all in place, and you can see that's stitched all the way around. And what I have found that is most helpful, and it makes sense, is as you're using your needle and going through, like in this case it was multiple layers, you want to make sure you go into that hole straight. You don't want to go at an angle, because this is thick and it's about almost 1/8 of an inch. And if you're going at an angle, you're going to be catching the sides of that hole that you're going through rather than going straight through. And that way you're going to have a much cleaner stitch, and it pulls through a whole lot easier. So the next step is to add this little spacer in here, and this is what creates the pocket on the front. And using the double needle again. Now when you're putting two pieces together, there's like a back stitch or a knot that you do. And so I'm going to do the first one. So everything you do with both needles. So the first needle comes back through to the front. And let me just line that up in here, just like that. And we're going to let this thread sit on top because this is what's going to help support. Now, as I'm sewing, I've found that if I hold this thread, pulling it away from the hole, that the second needle is going to come through much easier. Now, in this case, this one is going to come over the top this way to the front. So whatever you do with one, you do with the other, but it sort of is in reverse. So we'll get that one through here. And pull it tight. There we go. So now we've created a knot on the top, which is just going to reinforce it, and we just start stitching around just as we did before. And we're going to go in one side, and it comes right out the other. And again, I'm going to pull this thread away from the hole so that that makes room for this one just to slip right through. So I just need to get a couple stitches in first so it's easier to hold on to. And give that a good tight pull. And just continue this way. So there's absolutely nothing difficult about this. If you've done hand sewing before, then you'll understand. Whoops, I've got my needle caught in there. You'll understand it's just a matter of following the stitch. It's a double stitch, and it's a little different than what we're used to, but it's going together really well. So let me continue on with this, and I will show you where we are after that. I wanted to share this part with you because initially when I saw this straight piece going around the curved piece, I thought, ooh, this might be a challenge. But I thought, all right, just one stitch at a time, and that's exactly it. This lines up so perfectly that there's no trouble at all going through. I want to line this edge up. I don't have to worry about what's going on over here because I do that one stitch at a time. And as one stitch goes in, it all cinches in place right where it needs to be. And then I'm going to get this nice curve right here. So I just wanted to share that with you in case you decide you want to give it a try, or maybe that was something you thought could be a problem too. And I just want to reassure you that this is working great, and I just keep going round and round and round. I'll be done with this before long. And here I am. I have my front pocket all hooked up and sewn together, and it looks wonderful. Now this is going to be my back piece, and it'll go this way. You can see as I hold this piece is longer, and we need to snug them together. And the best way to do that is just to fold it over and roll it like this. And then that's going to line these holes up much better. What you're doing is creating a curve, and you're going to put this piece so it eases in. It's not unlike putting a sleeve in if you've ever sewn clothes, when you ease a larger piece to a smaller piece. And so what we're going to do is fold this over like this. Let me get my needle. I'll put it right into this hole here, and it should line up right where I want it to. There we go. And now I'll insert the back piece into the front, and I will grab it right here, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to curve the pieces together. I'm going to pull this down out of my way, and I'll curve that leather and see how that needle goes right out through to the front. And it's that curve that's creating the adjustment of the holes to be right where we need them. See how much easier that goes through? And that's simply because we are allowing the larger piece of leather to be on the outside, the smaller piece on the inside, and they just fit together nice and snug. So I'm going to continue sewing up the side of this particular piece, and you can see over here where I just ended off there, and then we're ready for the next step. It's coming together beautifully. So I've taken this kind of curve over flap that's going to be the closure on this bag, and after finishing these sides, I went ahead and sewed it to the back of the bag. And now these two will come together, and this will come over the top, and look how wonderful that's going to be. I'm really excited. It's looking beautiful. So the next steps include the piece that is going to go around the edges, the side like this. And I've done a couple things already on this. Let's see, I'm kind of working at both ends. So we do the piece, the buckle, and there's the little holder there that secures it to the side. And it was kind of fun creating all these little leather pieces and sewing them in place. And then this is the piece that's going to be used to sew these together. And there'll be one on each side. So that's going to be my next step. But I just wanted to show you how, if you remember when we did the curved piece, let's see, this one here, and we folded it over in order to get those to go together. This is similar, but instead of having to curve it, we just lay it flat and sew, and then the ruffle connects it, or the seam connects it in there, and the excess sort of ruffles out. And then when this is sewn, it's going to allow for the bag to curve. So I find the construction of this really interesting, and I've had fun with that. But I just wanted to show you everything that I've done has been the same basic stitch of putting the needle through one side here and going through both sides like that, and then coming through on the other. So it's the two needle stitch, or the double needle stitch, and we just go back and forth all the way up. And I do the same thing here in order to sew this on. Now, it took a minute because this, now I should have finished this before I added this because it's a bit crowded. But while you see this finished, I just wanted you to see how it goes together here. And we take our pieces, and you saw in the beginning, this was one long strip that I just folded over around the buckle. And now I'm going to be sewing this in place around here. So it all goes together quite simply. It's not a complicated assembly at all. So I'm enjoying the simplicity of that. I appreciate the pre-cut holes and how well they line up. I've been very grateful for the step-by-step video tutorial because it's shown exactly what the stitch will look like when these two pieces join, how to put this corner on so that it doesn't go on backward. You can see how that's at an angle. So all those details are pointed out in the video. I'm used to getting printed material, printed instructions, but I rather like the video, maybe because I make videos myself. But I appreciate seeing the hands-on and watching how the stitch is done, and that works out great here. So let me go ahead, and I think I'm about ready to finish this. And this is my strap that's going to go through the buckle when I'm done. So all I need to do is finish these two spots and put it together, and I'm going to have a finished bag. I'm excited to show you what I made. This is really nice leather. Everything you need is in the kit. It's pre-drilled. There's nothing complicated. Check out that hardware. Look at how nice that is. And there's the buckles here. It just looks like a beautiful store-bought purse. It's not a crafty handmade thing that you kind of notice and go, oh, well, isn't that sweet? No, this is really nice. Oh, and they have some big tote bags. Oh, I can't wait to try one of those. That'll be a lot of fun. There's no machine sewing on this. Everything is by hand. So it's a very simple project, and anybody who can hold a needle can make this. It's not difficult. It takes some time. Now, I did pace it out over a few days. I did it for over 3 days, and it probably took me about 12 hours to do the whole thing. This was great. I really enjoyed making it. And a couple things about the company. Obviously, they're online. They ship worldwide. This was free shipping. I believe most places receive free shipping, which is awesome. And if you purchase with a link below, there's a discount for all my subscribers. So you can get a lesser price, which is fantastic. But I just want to emphasize what I believe the quality of this bag is. It's terrific. I mean, the materials are strong and sturdy. They're going to last a long time. I encourage you to think about something like this. If you have someone in your family who enjoys hand sewing or craft, do-it-yourself kits, things like that, this would be a great opportunity, a great gift idea for somebody.